Yeah. So if you want the future to change, start thinking of something better. All right, let's move on. Now, so your life will ultimately move to the direction of your most dominant thought. It reminds me of a story in a good book, talking about some men came together and you know, they wanted to build something for themselves. All right. The idea was we are a tribe, we're a people. Let's not scatter everywhere in the world. So let's come together. Let's build something. Let's build a tower. Let's just build something and then let's build a city. And let's remain in this city unless we get scattered. And then something happened. God, seated in heaven, said, come, let us go down and see this thing that men have started building. Remember, somebody got the idea, called everybody, fed them with these ideas, and they began to think it. And God sitting in heaven said, come, let us go down and see these things, this tower that these men have been building. Yet they've not started. It's just thoughts. And then God came down. And when he came down, he said, indeed, these people are one. And they have one language. That is, they've determined in their hearts to do these things that they've been thinking about. And he said a statement that touched me. He said, now, this is what they have begun to do. And truly, nothing shall be impossible to them which they imagine to do. Wow. This is God speaking. He came down from heaven, came down and said, this is the thoughts of men. Nothing shall be impossible to them. As long as they think it, as long as in their imagination, nothing is impossible to them. Because that is the law of imagination. I'll talk on that some other time. All right. So what must we do? What must we do? If our imagination, our thought life will create our life, will end up showing up in our life, you have to guard your thoughts. The good book says, guard your thoughts, guard your mind with all diligence. Why? Because out of it comes the issues of life. Out of your thoughts flows the issues of life. So you have to protect your thoughts. You have to protect your thoughts. You have to protect your thoughts, your thought life. What you think, you have to guard it jealously. I put it this way. I said, whoever controls your ear controls your life. Whoever controls your ear time, whoever gets your ear time controls your life. Now, what do I mean? This is what it is. Whatever you hear and whatever you see ends up in your thoughts. So, if you don't guard the things you see, if you don't guard the things you hear, it ends up in your thoughts. And whatever ends up in your thoughts ends up in your mouth. And whatever you say consistently ends up in your life. So this is how it goes. What you see, what you hear ends up in your thoughts. What you think consistently ends up in your mouth. And what you say consistently ends up in your life. Because this world is governed by our thoughts. And this world is governed by our words. I'll teach about it in another episode. So you have to, if you need your life to change, you will guard what you see. You will guard what you hear. You don't just hear everything. You don't just watch everything. You don't just sit down and spend 30 hours of your life watching movies. Oh, come on, come on, come on. That's a seed you are sowing. What are you going to become in the next 5 years? In the next 3 years? Are you going to end up being a movie? So you need to protect what you hear, you need to protect what you see, because it will ultimately end up in your thoughts. And once you continue to think for a long time, ends up in your mouth. You begin to say it. And once you continuously say, ends up in your life. So guard your mind with all diligence, for out of it flows the issues of life. Protect your thoughts jealously. Guard it. Quickly, I have just a few minutes to go. I'm just going to show you three practical steps um, on how to build a successful top life. Three simple, practical steps. Number one, I call it the monk mode. Now, what is it? You have to enter a radical isolation. Don't get me wrong. Let me explain what I mean. It is said that if your 4 or 5 best friends or closest people to you are poor, they are complainants, their life is not good with them, things are not going well, they're always murmuring and complaining, you are the fifth. So your association, you have to change the people you associate with. What do I mean? Now, if everyone around you are in the same level with you, you cannot go further in life. You have to find people that are above you, people that have done things you want to do, so you can step out of your comfort zone and step out of that level that you are, to get to their level. But mind you, I know it sounds easy, the monk mode, the radical isolation. I know it sounds easy, but it's not. Because the moment you determine to change, you're going to face resistance. You're going to face opposition. Now, your friends might not know it, but they will do what we call the bucket crab effect. The moment you declare or you start acting, I want to change, I want things to get better in my life, I want to start doing things that are productive. Your old friends, they become aggressive toward you. What